It turns out Polar Korea's lead Kim Jong-un doesn't requirement to flame off a rocket to get the planet's focus. He has a quantity of far more than strong arms in his stockpile, his woman envoys. And on the newest as called Allure Unpleasant, he stored the top for recent. His sibling. You could nearly sense the pulsation of emotion as she walked in the discovery right of the Winter Olympic Games in Pyeongchang. Necks craned and portable phones were detained upward to capture a glimmer. I found myself, on in other, propensity as far as I could above the terrace to try to see her in the VIP box under. The many faces about the arena all told one item. She's there. On southward Korean ground. She has taken into account the reticent mode a humane person. He's odd and miraculous. I've never seen a Polar Korean up, one youthful man tells me. My cardiac is smelting, says else. But alas not overlook, Kim Yo-jong is Pyongyang's PR tsarina. She is the wizard of her sibling's picture, and on the event, she has assimilated the prince depiction of her nation. To see a term of the Kim household in the body love how is so extraordinary for southward Koreans how he's not remarkable they were charmed by her, explains Jean Shelter, ex-Pyongyang office head for the news story agent-related clique. Yet it does as well show how no the Polar Koreans are, he says. They ship their prettiest female. Openly while you go to Polar Korea, you include these folks who are fall corpse magnificent. They include said me occasionally how their job is to tempt us, so how in rotate we are love, the nation and the human beings, they're not how poor. The temptation began few weeks ago as Polar Korea dispatched the ex-conduct artist of Moranbong, an all-woman piece of music team. Hyun Chant-wol sashayed via Seoul to discover a location for her arts company to execute. Once again, more than refer was done of her fur tippet rather than the reality how just 5 months ago Polar Korea carried out its newest nuke testing. Later came the famous Troupe of Beauties. The team of female, chosen for their nice looks, ability and customer loyalty to the mode step off the bus in solitary folder in overlapping dark fur hats, red coats and ankle-bone boots. Hard protected, largest, just smiled as reporters tripped above themselves to try to get close them. In looks conscious and leather care obsessive southward Korea, these youthful Polar Korean female are detained up as examples of nature beautiful or virginity and it appears to include induced a stinger of nostalgic in the older general. One of the team's largest renowned members is Ri Salt-ju who united while she was 16 and ultimately became the woman of Kim Jong-un. One Polar Korean deserter said me it was her job to go out and defeat in a smiling Han search engine optimization. He is a ex-term of both of the Polar Korean cheerleader team and the arts company. We were imaginary to contribute the Juche philosophy, Polar Korea's philosophy of socialistic personality reliance. We were fighters on the front line. We mind we were departure in the cardiac of the foe to show how pride we are. We were to show how we were superior rather than other. I was rather pride and sure and I mind how was which we were departure to make. Han search engine optimization. He had to keep Polar Korea since her sibling defected. If she'd remaining she and her household could include ended up in jail. She enjoys the liberty she has in southward Korea as she recalls the 3 months of ideologic learning she went via in her comrade performers. We were said we should not be amazed and stunned by the unidentified planet and how we really overlook our household nation though for a minimum. We really overlook how we are down there to honor General Kim. Several of my comrade performers told how since they didn't wish to overlook their motherland they would seize a fistful of land to put in their bag. Else packed a picture of Kim Jong-il, same dad of the present lead, wrapped up in a red silky shawl in her pouch. The type of idolization of a lead is foreigner to southward Korea's junior general who are not so readily tempted by Polar Korea's arrivals. Protests emerging on public print by an offended team in their 20s and 30s who thick felt how southward Korean CEO Luna Jae-in was incorrect to incorporate Polar Koreans in the females' ice hockey crew. The Seo's popular ratings include not completely restored. And the civilization gap became defiantly evident for the ice hockey matchstick himself. The Southward Korean cheerleader team at the Spartakiada had rehearsed sexual routines to the chant Uptown Fright in mini skirts and knee-joint top boots, time flapping pom-poms. But the rows of polar Korean cheerleaders under them seemed nearly forgetful to everything pop or fate hit was rapidly developing about the arena. In overlapping red tracksuits, their productivity consisted of bizarre brush movements and chants all made in ultimate tune. Their conventional songs were on unifying the homeland. "We Are A" was the scream. Han search engine optimization. He afraid the cheerleaders might be seen as a interesting sight. She memorable an occurrence in 2003. While the cheerleaders arriving in Southward Korea, it was rain and Kim Jong-il's picture on the major banner got damp. The entire team of cheerleaders were frightened and came out of the bus and collected about the image to defend it. Southward Koreans were rather stunned to see the behavior, since it looked like a sectarian worship. It just served to allocate the differences among the Southward and the Polar. It seems Polar Koreans' force to tempt has its limitations.